Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Matt Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nusswash Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Red Small make a run to be $50?
Bouquett, you son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Ken, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Jones one, all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Loshak, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio is all. There's a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. You want it top 10, we above it. Let's check.
All right. Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Betting with Bouquett. My name is Jose Bouquett. Nice to have you guys all in here. And welcome to PUBAPALOOZA 2025. PUBAPALOOZA number 4 for us here. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun for us, all of us flying in to San Antonio to all hang out. It's a great time. If you guys maybe you want to make a last-second decision and come join us here in San Antonio. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We have a whole list of activities, events, all going down basically at Southtown 101. We'll be here. It's essentially the whole weekend, live for games, poker tournaments, comedy show, all Southtown 101. Can't wait to do all that and see you guys here very shortly. Now, let's talk about today's show here. Today's show will be an interesting one. Like we always say, everyone flying to San Antonio, that means we have limited bodies. But guess what? We got our guy, the college basketball king right now, Morgan Spooner, joining us here in a few. And if we take our time and we hopefully time it out right, we've got Wine Time Sports coming to pick us up, I guess. And I was going to come and pick him up, but he's going to come pick us up here at the end with some NBA here as well. So we're stuck together here, chat, you and I, and let's get this game capped here. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. If you guys haven't already signed up for our beautiful bracket contest and confidence pool at the Pub Sports Radio website, $50 to enter each one. So it's a whole lot of fun. I'm in it. I have submitted my bracket. I've got to do my confidence pool, and it's looking like pretty much all chalk for me. So we'll see how all that shakes out. Ixnizzle in the chat. Nice to see you, Ick, in the chat. We'll see you hopefully here very soon. Kong's Clips college basketball play of the day is Texas plus 3.5. Excited to talk about that game. Actually was looking the other way, so that's interesting. What's up, Slow Jam Arsenal? Yes, shout out to Sharpie. First 3, first 5, easy for Sharpie. I bet I didn't tweet it out, but I quietly bet Dodgers team total over 4.5. That was nice. A little wake up. It was already 6-3 there, so I couldn't complain there. Barry Roselle celebrating some Montreal futures that still have a shot. Barry, shout out to you. I'll pass that message along to our guy Jimmy. Respect play of the day, 37-30 this year so far. Shout out to you, Rez. Thanks for being in here. Our guy Justin McKelvey, of course, Stacks play of the day. Let's shout him out early because he's dropped them both in here. Shout out to you, Stacks. Northern Iowa and the Orlando Magic. Shout out to you, Justin.
Stacks, 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 stacks. Stacks, 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 stacks.
Beautiful stuff. Nasty Nate in here. I am hurrying as we speak here. Nasty Nate, shout out to you. Dougie Wise dropped his free bands play. Saturated asking why I'm not drinking yet, Jose, because I have several people to pick up at the airport today. So I think Friday will be when the pollutant comes out, Saturated. So we'll see how all that unfolds. Sir Mackey loves pie, Mally, Mao, Woo Rizza, Team Moss. All of you guys in here. Dave Redling talking a little shit, but he's in here. So nice to see you, Dave. He's saying parlay the wild and the money line, wild money line and the under 6.5 there. So let's get right after it. Let's start into this college basketball slate here, everyone. I'm excited to talk about these games. Been pretty successful when it comes to college basketball. You guys know how I cap market alone, basically. And I'm glad we've got this guy to bring the X's and O's. The one, the only Morgan Spooner, Spoons Bets, joining the program. Spoons, happy PUBAPALOOZA. How are you doing?
Happy PUBAPALOOZA, Jose. A little disappointed I can't be down there with everybody this week, but I'm excited for a great weekend of basketball. I look forward to this weekend all year long, and it's going to be a good one.
Well, it is going to be a good one. I hope we can see you next year here, Morgan, but God damn it, I'm glad you're not coming because I needed somebody to cap this college basketball card with. I needed somebody, and I'm glad that you were there here. You're actually my first and only text message. So I'm glad that you could come through for me, Morgan. So shout out to you here. Our guy, Nuke Worker and company, they're on the plane about to head out. So shout out to old Jimmy the Bag, who after this show, Morgan, I have to head out. Hopefully I'll see Wine Time in them, but I've got to head out, run to the liquor store, and pick up my father a bottle of Jameson. So that will be a very interesting time here. So enough of the dilly-dally, the ass slapping. It's going to be a fun college basketball breakdown with you, Morgan. Let's get into it with the Beauty 16 seed play-in game in the NCAA tournament. Yesterday's very fun ending of that game. Old St. Francis and Alabama State there. I'm actually seeing the highlights right now of the beautiful windows here in the Southtown 101 and a whole wall of TVs looking to be programmed later today. So that'll be great here. But we've got American Mount St. Mary's here. I will talk about the markets here, where the lines open up and where the money is right now. And I'll let Morgan handle the X's and O's there. 56% of the bets, 54% of the money on the American University here. I'm seeing a line opening up at 2.5. Has not moved much. We've had some juice flip back and forth. Right now, minus 112 at where we used to play poker at. For American, minus 2.5 there. And as for the total here, let us bring that up right now here. 129.5 is what it opened up at. We're at 129 right now. Juice to the under, which is very interesting because we have 89% of the bets and 85% of the money on the over in this game. It does make me bet an under in this one, Morgan. What do you think?
So this one I was really leaning towards Mount St. Mary's here. American's a team built around one player, and he's taller. Matt Rogers, 6'9", 220 senior. His body really allowed him to excel in the Patriot League. There's not a lot of guys that can contain him physically, and I think Mount St. Mary's what allowed them to be successful is they had 3 forwards above the height of 6'7" that were all starters for them throughout the course of the year. That gives them 3 defensive options to throw on Rogers and really take him out of this game. Mount St. Mary's is just a team that keeps games close. They don't let things run away from them. When the ball's not going in the rim, they're really good at rebounding, offensive rebounding, and just finding another way to get the ball in the basket. I think they should be favored in this game. I think the 2.5 is just respect to the conference itself, the MAACC. It's probably looked down just a little bit more upon than what the American is. And I just don't think the Patriot League's that much better. I think Mount St. Mary's is a better team, and I think they come out with the win here today. I didn't move on the game yet. I haven't moved on anything on today's card. I've really been just focusing on the weekend's games. Don't want to waste too much thought process into this, but I'm getting closer with Mount St. Mary's. I'd like to see the market get more on American. I wouldn't mind a full 3 points in my pocket, but I'm close. I could only be on Mount St. Mary's here. I don't think American has the offensive firepower outside of Matt Rogers. And when you're one-dimensional in March, it's easy to take it away.
Yeah, these coaches are good enough to take away your right hand to make you play left-handed. Rez Mob agrees with you there. He thinks that he said, I thought Mount St. Mary should be favored as well. Saturated, asking if I have GHB in my container. No, just regular old water, saturated. But again, Friday night, who knows? And our guy, Billy Friedrich, thank you for resending it there, Billy. I didn't see it the first time, apparently. Xavier is the pig milk play of the day. I like Xavier as well, Billy. And let's get into it here now. We've got Xavier, Texas. Spoons, you'll be surprised to hear that this game is going to be very watched down here in Old Texas here. This is going to be a very hotly contested game, at least in the bars here. People will be watching this game. And I find it fascinating here. When filling out brackets, I will admit my brackets have been really chalk. Like just so chalky. And it's a product of obviously the top tier teams just being that much better this year. We will see how all that unfolds. But I do like both of these teams, and I do like both these teams to advance a little further in this tournament. Sweet 16 vibes, perhaps. I definitely would prefer it to be Xavier, but our guy Spoons will talk about all that here shortly. Let's talk about today's game and see where these two teams stack up here when it comes to each other. If I just do a Control F, my life will be easier. And it was 55% of the bets, 54% of the money on Texas there. So not too bad, pretty evenly split. 36,000 tickets in, obviously a shitload of money, or a shitload of bets, I should say, on this game here. And 80% of the money, 80% of the bets, 84% of the money on the over in this game here. We had this line open up at 3.5 here for Xavier. I wrote down that 2.5 you guys see on screen. That was at BetMGM. Again, if you guys are in a legal state, to sign up with our link that you guys can find in the description. But right now, I'm seeing threes across the board right now where we used to play poker at Heritage, places like that. So that's very interesting there. And we have the total here, 149.5 has popped up those few points to 151.5 here. It does seem like that's an under first game and an over second game here, just based off the markets. Morgan, what do you think?
I look at this one. I get past totals. It's one of those things. I'm not trying to bet against a supercomputer there. I really believe we gotta look at just certain angles to beat games, and totals generally I'm not going to be ahead of. If I might see two coaches are going to try to slow this down, the market's going to be ahead of that. These first half unders, I think, is just like a common public theme. In the next couple days, people are going to be saying, hey, teams are playing at 11 a.m. They're West Coast teams. They're not going to be used to shooting the ball. These kids are really good at basketball, and they want to get seen. They're locked in right now. I'm not buying into that narrative, so I'm not looking at unders or overs or anything like that. What I am looking at is a Xavier team that's a lot better coached than Texas. Coming down the stretch, Xavier won a lot of their games. They dropped their first tournament game to Marquette in the Big East tournament, but Marquette is really good. And rattling off those 7-8 wins in a row at the end of the season, they really showed me that with Fremantle back and healthy, this lineup can win a lot of games, possibly be dangerous in the tournament. Unfortunately for them, after they play this, you get to play Illinois, and I think Illinois is in a good spot. They just took some bad losses, and I'll think they'll end up winning against whoever wins this game. But I think that's Xavier. Texas is a good team, but they're one-dimensional there with Johnson. And like I just said before, if you can take one player out, I just really don't think Pope and Arthur Kaluma can really step up and get the points necessary. The Xavier team's already had to face part of the season without some of their best players, and they've just gotten so much better with that. Sean Miller's a better coach. I think at the end of the season, Texas's coach is probably out of a job. And Sean Miller might be as well, but that's just because Miami's going to be knocking with a huge paycheck. And I don't think Rodney Terry is going to be coaching NCAA D1 ball next year. So two guys go in different directions. Maybe Terry finds a way to get these Texas guys to step up, but I don't believe so.
Yeah, I was doing a show earlier this morning, and the thing that they talked about with this Texas team is that don't like Rodney Terry, and they basically just said like, oh man, I wish Chris Beard was back, all that stuff. Chris Beard, better coach, etc. So
he got forced out during the allegations, everything that happened. Texas's hand was forced. Rodney Terry was already in the program. It was a safe, easy hire. It wasn't a long-term good decision for the program. It was just something they had to do to save face in the public. And it's showing its hand right now. I think this is the goodbye days for Terry.
Very interesting. All right. Well, there we go. Great breakdown. Spoons here. Again, thank you to everyone in the chat here, bright and early. Hit the like button while you guys are here. We're talking about all the college basketball games. We've got 2 NHL games, and then we'll talk about NBA here together, hopefully with wine time. Let's pray that the airline gods are on our side here. Let's roll on here. NIT action. Spoons here. St. Joseph's UAB. Now, sure, the glitz and glamour of the March Madness tournament, that's all fun, Morgan Spooner. That's all great. But God damn it, the NIT is where money can be made, guys. The NIT, you need to just do a little digging and see if we can find some NIT gold here. UAB St. Joseph's here. Let's talk about where the market sits in this game today. All right, so for UAB, we're not getting any spread information yet. 70% of the bets, 71% of the money. Already got the hiccups. I'm so excited to talk about NIT. I've got the hiccups. 70% of the bets, 70% of the money on the over in this game. And we will go check and see what this over has done here. Wow, I'm seeing an opener of 154. I need to double check and see where this opened up. 155 at another place here, and it's all the way up to 159. Jeez. People bet this game over. Wow, that's a surprising number there. And for the spread, we don't have the money percentages, but I can tell you guys it's opened up at 5. And we are up to 5.5 here against the Dragons here. Spoons, any thoughts on this one?
So I think this is a St. John's spot or St. Joseph's spot. These guys have been playing really good ball towards the end of the season. They dropped one at LaSalle. I think that was kind of a scheduled loss there with Dunphy going out. UAB, on the other hand, Andy Kennedy, I'm not sure he's coming back to coach here next year. I think some of these guys are transferring out. I don't know who shows up on the court. Lendenborg's done. He's their best player. Maybe he wants to go out with a NIT run, but I think having to go up to Philadelphia right now, after that tough loss to Memphis, just not a good spot to be in. They just want their season to be over. St. Joseph's offense can really start clicking, and I think a team with the wrong body language could find themselves down 15 to 20 points within 20 minutes in this game, and I could only be on St. Joseph's here. That being said, it is Lendenborg's last year. There's a couple other seniors on this team. Maybe they want to go out with a bang and they find a way to keep this game close or even find a way to win it. I am not on this NIT game. When I do pull the trigger, it's going to be just few and far between. I'm going to sprinkle a future on UC Irvine. I'm looking at it. I could still find it at plus 750. I think there might be plus 800s. That might just be the way I attack this NIT tournament. I really like them to win it. I think there's a couple other teams like Mason that have some really good odds, but I don't necessarily know if they have the right path there. And I think Irvine's got a nice path. Hey, Jose, you're on the mute button there, bud.
God, fuck. I can't escape it. I can't escape that mute button. Wherever I go, it just follows me, Morgan. And I guess I've learned from the best, old Dabby Cab, who, again, is driving down here right now, probably. Shout out to you, Dabra Kadabra. And by the way, again, I will be accepting races in the parking lot of old Southtown 101 foot races. I think, Morgan, I'm the fastest PUBAPALOOZA attendant this year.
You guys need to stretch, drink water. I'm worried about all sorts of ligaments just being torn, ripped, strained.
Oh, yeah. Morgan, I will admit to you, my first step outside of my apartment today, I'm walk off the curb, immediately roll my ankle. It's like, oh, fuck. It's like, Jesus, now I'm limping to my car. I'm like, this is just not how I expected my day.
Jose Flag.
Yeah, apparently so. Me and old Cooper are going to have black and blue ankles, and maybe we'll both end up champions.
I see this. This is just the precursor to why you lost one of the races. Remember, guys, I was telling you about how I rolled my ankle.
I need to roll it a little like more so I can get some like really like bruising in there, so I can be like, Troy, like, look, my ankle is fucked, Troy. That's why you beat me. Which, by the way, Troy Torrance is attending PUBAPALOOZA. I have a feeling he'll be the one to accept my race challenge, which might be tough. But I'll beat him, guys. Put your bets in now. Let's keep rolling in here, and let's talk about your George Mason. I want to call them Masoneers. I don't know. This is just my dumb brain. The George Masoneers.
Patriots, I believe.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Fun fact, if I would have stayed, I lived in Virginia for a long time, almost went to George Mason. George Mason and JMU were the two schools that I was considering at the time. 67% of the bets, 60% of the money on George Mason here. I would just be a huge Curt Cignetti guy right now. I would just be blessing the altar of Curt Cignetti as we speak. And they actually won a tournament game last year, so shout out to JMU. 87% of the bets, 90% of the money on the over here. Getting a lot of over love so far in these markets. And, the markets, the totals are moving in accordance to them. So, Morgan, you're talking about trying to beat these supercomputers. They're putting money on this overs early here, and the lines are moving accordingly.
The same trend happened yesterday with every single NIT game. When I started looking at it, I was like, it moved 3 points since I started, and I was only like 3 games in. Fishy stuff's going on. It's like that G League ball where everybody kind of nonchalant shakes hands. We're like, all right, we're all trying to get better schools next year. Let's lackadaisical D, Matador D, whatever you want to call it. And everybody scores a few more baskets. I don't think George Mason's lets that happen today, though. This is a defense that is Kevin Willard inspired. Tony Skinn ran a Kevin Willard team for 6 or 7 years on the defensive side, and it really shows with his defense. Same thing as Patino defense, and Samford is a completely gimmicky offense. If you can take their 3-ball away, they can't get anything going. I think Mason's the perfect matchup for him. It's way too many points for me to lay with this Mason team. If it was 2.5, maybe I could do it. 6.5 is telling me George Mason's going to win, and they're daring me to bet it. I don't need to. It's an NIT game. One thing about Mason is they don't actually have a point guard. So going down the stretch, second half of the game, when Samford's trying to press to get back into it, you don't have that point guard that you really trust with a ball in your hands. I don't know. It gets tough. Too many points for me to lay here, but definitely a Mason spot. Sprinkle NIT champs right here. Tony Skinn is one of the best coaches in college basketball right now. I think he might have gotten A10 Coach of the Year. Well deserved.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at my futures that my local is offering me, and I'm getting most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament now as well. No one will be surprised to hear that Cooper Flagg plus 400, Janai Broom plus 750 there. Very interesting. Very interesting. And by the way, Con Knipple up there as well, plus 2,200. 2 Duke players that high. Very interesting indeed. Morgan, I'm going to ask you for your bracket thoughts here on the main tournament, because obviously you've been thinking about them here everyone has been, I should say, not just you. So I'll ask you about that here at the end, but let's roll on into FAU Dayton. The NIT is so funny to me at times because you get these matchups that you just never think you'd see. These kids going to Dayton, Boca, the whole thing. It's just a very funny matchup to me in my head here. So let's talk about, again, where the markets lie in this beautiful game here. We've got no information on the spread so far. Again, all the money here on the over. 76% of the bets, 90% of the money on the over. Let's use the money line here because this game pretty tight line here. 52% of the bets, 65% of the money on Dayton there, I believe. Let me double check. There. Yes, on Dayton as well. So we talk about where the spread has gone here. We've done the complete flip here, Spoons. I didn't even know this was the case. Opened up -1.5 Dayton. We went all the way to 1. Pick them. And now I'm seeing FAU as the favorites here. And I'm seeing still some other places still have this line as a pick 'em, but wow, very fascinating line flip here. We've talked about Troy and mentioning how he thinks these line flips are kind of been killing people recently. Bet their beginning side here. Again, Morgan to bring back the supercomputers. These supercomputers are making lines, and it's not often they mess up like that. So if you take the flip, I can see where you guys are thinking. A fascinating game here. My first instinct is to take Dayton. Spoons, what do you think?
Just one more thought on that. So they know the public is going to bet the overs before they put that out. That's kind of just like a public trend for a lot of things. So maybe just some thought gaming process by the books. They know that last year, 2 years ago, a lot of sharps were making money just blindly betting those unders. Maybe they thought more people would be on them and they just set all the numbers low. I don't know. I think those totals are something you should really be locked in on with each team if you're going to be trying to attack. Here, Dayton, I think it's a bad spot for them. They should have had a home game in Dayton, but the first 4 games are being played there. They are the higher seed, and in the NIT, the higher seed gets to host the home game. So FAU kind of squeaks out with this, and I think that has something to do with the line. Psychologically, that's got to suck knowing that you earned a home game and you can't play it because there's the tournament that you wanted to be playing in at your home court. And I think at the beginning of the season, and if you'd asked a lot of people, Dayton was going to make that field of 68. So it's tough. For that reason, I didn't want to get on Dayton. I thought maybe psychologically you check out FAU, you get that free home game, a little excitement, keep your season running at home, one more chance to show off with your buddies kind of thing. I couldn't be on it, but FAU's probably the side right here.
Okay, no action here for me then. Forky jumping in the chat. Shout out to you for the $2 dono there. Texas Mount St. Mary's, both money line singles for me here. Shout out to you, Gorky. And T-Moss saying that I'm lucky. It was the fastest in my conference. Played running back, safety, kick returner, never came off the field. T-Moss, I'd dust your ass, T-Moss. I'd dominate. You wouldn't even get off the line, T-Moss. It'd be fun. So good luck, T-Moss. I'll see you next year at PUBAPALOOZA, perhaps even this year. After saying that, even this year, maybe you're so offended that I would just dominate you, T-Moss, that it would happen. Let's go to our next game here. North Alabama, Bradley here, 4.5 point spread for the old Bradley Bears here. Was a 3.5 at one point, has moved all the way up. No spread information, and it seems like that is going to be a trend throughout all the NIT games, it seems. Again, 87% of the bets, 89% of the money on the over here. Total opened up at 144. We're at 146. Even 146.5 is available here. And like you said, Morgan, I think that's going to be a trend we see all day today. I'm very interested to see how that it shakes out. Would love to see where if the opening line it goes under or over that, and see how the movements all adjust there. But what do you think about this Titanic matchup here?
This is a Bradley spot for me. North Alabama is a really good team. They won a bunch of games this year. Too bad they ran into Lipscomb. That team, just a really good player. 3-4 guys that can shoot 40% from three. It's really tough to win a game when somebody's shooting the ball that well. And unfortunately, Bradley ran into that. And I think this Bradley team's really good. As long as everybody's on the court, there's no reason they shouldn't beat North Alabama. Bradley's got a team with a bunch of upperclassmen, 4 or 5 seniors. I would expect those seniors want to go out. Did you just catch a fly?
I did, yes.
Miyagi.
Yeah. Watch out, T-Moss. Watch out, T-Moss. I'm coming for you.
Chopsticks, and we'll call it impressive. My service manager at work, he can take rubber bands on his finger and shoot them out of the air. Jesus. Wild.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Only Bradley here.
It's distracting you.
4.5 points is just a little much for me to lay. I think a lot of these games come down to just a possession or two. It's really, really tough to start getting past that 3-point mark for me. You have to be very confident. And North Alabama is a really good team. I don't expect them to go out without a fight. It's the NIT, though, and motivation sometimes is just not there for these guys equally. And sometimes it's best to just live bet and make sure you know what these guys are doing on the floor. Yeah. Duke Dean is a great player for Bradley. I would never want to bet against him. That's where I'd be at.
Well, you've got Gorky thinking Xavier now, Spoons. I'll tell you that. It's another $2 donor. Thank you, Gorky. Xavier may be the play. Let us know what you end up on there, Gorky. Jerry Davis saying 1, maybe 2 Bradley starters out. Give me UNA there. And Jake Burns, you're asking about those injuries. Yes, Jerry Davis just mentioning it. And now T-Moss is going to try to shoot flies from the sky using rubber bands. So there goes T-Moss's rest of his afternoon right there.
For DC Capper, I see his question here in the comments. Easily my favorite play of the day is Mount St. Mary's. I don't want the points in that. I think you just take the money line. If you want to hold on, see if you can't get 3 points with that, wait till tip. 3 points will probably be available within the first minute or two. And then my second play of the day would be Xavier. I really think these NIT games, you need to watch these teams play a couple minutes or a couple games, because year after year, some of the teams that look good in the regular season just don't show up for the NIT. It's a pride thing. They're ashamed to be out there because they're not playing in the big tournament, and they just don't play like they should, while other kids are playing out of their mind. Really, my favorite spot is that Mount St. Mary's. The only reason I would say Xavier isn't my favorite spot is because of Johnson there on Texas. I've seen it too many times this year where Texas has been out of a game and they call a timeout. Johnson just takes a sip of Gatorade, the special juice, goes out there and hits a bunch of big shots, and you just shake your head. And I don't want to really shake my head at him tonight, but Mount St. Mary's, when we talk about it, it's going to be on my card tonight. I'll tweet it out.
Beautiful. There you go. DC Capper. And while you were saying that, more, it was a beautiful breakdown, great analysis there. Saturated was too busy thinking about a girl he once met in Thailand who he could fly with a ping pong ball. Now, Saturated, I did not expect the Thailand ping pong ball woman story to go that way, but that sounds very interesting, Saturated. I'd be willing to hear more about that. I'd be willing to hear much more about that, Saturated. So shout out to you. But let's keep it rolling here. Spoons, we only have you for a few more minutes here, and we're gonna knock out the rest of these games. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on the big day mañana here. Furman, UNT. I have a predisposition to not like UNT. By the way, as everyone says, you can't spell nutsack without UTSA. You also cannot spell nutsack without UNT as well. Morgan Spooner. The Pit, a scary place to play. I don't love Furman's chances here today. 8.5 points probably gives you a good idea of where or what is going to happen here. 61% of the bets, 56% of the money on UNT here. Line was a 7.5, popped up to 8.5 here. I'm seeing a juiced 8 as well. So yeah, there's going to be 8.5s coming across the board, if not already here. And keeping in the tradition of today, 92% of the bets, 87% of the money on the over here. 128 opener up to 131.5, 132. So like we said, I'm going to keep an eye out on these totals, see how all these overs do, because it seems like it's over Palooza right now. But no action for me here, Morgan. Would love to hear you say that UNT doesn't have a shot in this game, but I don't feel like that is what's going to happen.
North Texas is the better team. This is a team that I only can bet at home, and in the NIT you get to play your games at home. So I'd look at it. 8.5 is too much. Furman's a real team. There's a lot of seniors here again. Really, really well coached. Not a team that I would comfortably say is going to be out of this ball game at the end of it. And I think this probably comes down to 2 possessions at most, and that's a couple free throws one way or the other. At home, I'd like to lean North Texas, but 8.5 NIT day before the big dance. I don't need to touch this. With a free bet, it would be North Texas.
Beautiful. North Texas free bet. That makes sense. Nasty Nate, I'll see you very soon. Good luck. Switching his phone to airplane mode. So good luck, my guy. I will see you very soon here. DC Capper, thanks you, Morgan, and shout out to you, DC Capper. And thank you, Aubrey Travis. Learning how to spell better every day. Every day we're challenging myself to spell better, and I am not good at it. That's one of those things, Morgan. He put me in a spelling contest with me and like 5 fifth graders, and the winner gets $10,000. Unfortunately, I'm not winning that $10,000. I'm just not, and it's going to be a real sad time when I lose that $10,000. But we all can't be perfect, I guess is what they say, Morgan. Northern Iowa, SMU here, 10.5 point spread. I think all of you guys will agree with me here. When I think Northern Iowa, the only person I think about is Ali Faroukmanesh. Shout out to him, who I believe is still on staff. But whatever he's doing, shout out to him for doing it. 46% of the bets, 67% of the money on NIU here. It makes sense, I guess. This is a big I don't want to call it, I guess, big tournament game, but it's a tournament game. You want to stay in it, obviously, and I think this will be a battle here for the SMU. I immediately lean dog when I see that big spread there, Spoons. And total 77% of the bets, 76% of the money on the over. 145 goes up to 148 here. So very interesting. And even 149 is available, Spoons. What do you think about this big spread?
I think it's absolutely phony as hell. I don't think SMU should be laying 10.5 points to any decent team, and Northern Iowa certainly is that. This Northern Iowa team probably had a chance to make the big dance. You go back towards the end of the season, they really got screwed in a game with Drake down the stretch. It was just terrible call after terrible call at home, and I really thought Ben Jacobson and these guys would do something here, but unfortunately they ran into a really hot Valparaiso team, and that was the end of their season. there's 2-3 seniors that play a lot of minutes for this Northern Iowa team. I know those guys are proud. The way they played in that Drake game was really impressive. You're going to see Drake here play Saturday or Friday, and they're going to be one of the best teams. I don't know if they have the ability to win, but they'll keep it close. SMU is just an ACC team I don't trust. They've only showed me it at home, and yeah, they're at home today, but 10.5 points is way too much. Ben Jacobson wants to keep this close. I don't see this being this many possessions. I got close to moving on this, but then I looked at the number and I was like, why is this so far off where I would have it? And it's because they have information I don't have. I don't know what that is, and I'm not interested in finding out. I'm going to be looking at tournament games still tomorrow.
Okay. Nothing for Spoons. I lean Northern Iowa there with you, Spoons, though. So nothing here for us. I'd like to see the market show their hand a little more. I agree with you there. Now let's talk about this team that Spoons says is going to win this goddamn tournament. UC Irvine Anteaters here against the mighty Northern Colorado Coloradians, as I like to call them today. I think they're also the Bears. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but shout out to Northern Colorado here. I mean, this spread bet percentage is hilarious to me. 91% of the bets, 74% of the money on Northern Colorado here. We did go from an 8 to a 7.5, and we are seeing 7s on the board here. Sure. But I don't want to be on the big public underdog, I'll tell you that. And that's a lot of bets and money on Northern Colorado here. So that's a little worrisome. 82% of the bets, 92% of the money on the over. And in keeping in tradition, 151 opener up to 153, 152.5 there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the line can keep going down. I'd still be interested in UC Irvine, honestly. Spoons, what do you think?
I like UC Irvine here. 7.5 points is a lot for a team that doesn't necessarily have the ability to score in the 90s. Against a really bad team like UC Santa Barbara or Cal Poly with their just like short team, no defense kind of approach, they can do it. But I don't think Northern Colorado is going to play Matador defense, and I expect them to at least make UC Irvine earn this win. Be a really nice parlay piece if you're just looking to put 3 games together kind of thing and just enjoy a little bit of college action without sweating too much. I would put UC Irvine in that. Like I said earlier, go right now to the future on your book. I bet you can find this somewhere between 700 and 900 and just click UC Irvine and hit that. Get a few days worth of action out of it and, you know, give you something else to root for when your tournament bracket busts and everything else is going wrong. This UC Irvine team has just a lot of guys you can trust. They got a 7-footer in Leuchten. They got Miles Che, Justin Holm. They're just seniors on this team. 1, 2, 3, 4 that are starting. This is a good team, well coached. Kind of got screwed out of a tournament spot. Like, I think they should have been in over North Carolina. Everybody's saying that West Virginia was going to get that spot, and I see all sorts of fights for this. But no matter what, UC Irvine's a really good team, and I expect them to roll. 7.5 points is a little too much for my taking, but generally when that's the case, it's because the books know they want to push me off it. They don't want me to do it. Everybody on Northern Colorado makes me want Irvine that much more. I'm holding off. Mount St. Mary's is making my card. I'm probably not going to bet anything else.
I definitely thought about the George Mason UC Irvine moneyline parlay. I've not seen what the odds would be about that, but have definitely looked at that, or I guess thought about that, I should say. I'm not going to be on it right now, but might be consideration for me here soon. Utah Valley, San Francisco here. And again, stick around here. We're going to end. We have 2 more college basketball games, and then we're going to get Morgan Spooner's thoughts on tomorrow's games here. Real quick, nothing too in-depth. Just going to ask if he likes any upsets, matchup he likes, whatever. But stick around here. We'll be talking about those games tomorrow here shortly. As for Utah Valley here, 63% of the bets, 83% of the money on San Fran there. And we have a 7 going up to an 8.5, 8 for the spread there. This total has not moved up too much, 144.5 up to 145.5 with 83% of the bets, 86% of the money on it. Truthfully, I'm more of a totals guy. I have been recently. Makes me lean. This is the first under that I was like, okay, maybe this could be the under here, but nothing here for me. Spoons, what about you? Anything jump out at you at this matchup?
I really like the San Francisco team, and Utah Valley in conference was one of the best teams across the nation this year. They only dropped games to Grand Canyon, and that's nothing to slouch about. They're a team that's really a brick house at home, and they're hard to beat. And San Francisco's the same way. They have two stadiums, and when they play in the smaller one, I think they're really good. It's a small gym. They pack it full, and I like San Francisco to roll today. They're a team that can hit threes, and it just becomes demoralizing. Utah Valley, they played well in their conference, but they don't have to play San Francisco, and it's a different brand of ball. If you're not used to it and you run into that gym, you find yourself down 15 points really quick. Utah Valley's a team that can work with a lead and protect it, not a team that can come back from a bad one. So I'd be in San Francisco or nothing. Again, it's just too many points for me. 8.5. It's March. These are scary fucking numbers to be laying.
Agreed. I like I said earlier, I would rather just take the money line parlays. I don't love parlays. Everyone kind of knows the whole jig with parlays, but laying 8.5 just doesn't sound too good to me, and I don't want to be on Utah Valley here. So I agree with you there. Spoons, let's go to your the last game of the day here. Loyola Chicago, San Jose State. Spoons, this is in San Jose State, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and this is I guess the first road favorite we've had on the card here today in Loyola Chicago. Now, my first question here, and I'll let you ponder this while I read the market here. Is this just Sister Jean respect? Is this just everyone knows show Loyola Chicago and Sister Jean? Let's make them the favorite here. Now, 3.5 points. It's a pretty substantial favorite on the road here. But let's talk about the market in this game, because we have 96% of the bets and 83% of the money on Loyola Chicago. It seems, again, like everyone's just betting the known commodity. Everyone knows this Rambler squad. I'm sure people still believe Porter Moser is there, but unfortunately he's taking his talents to Oklahoma to lose in the first round every year, hopefully. Hopefully not even make the tournament in my hopes, actually, Morgan. But 2.5 point spread was the opener for this game. Got up to 3, got up to 4 at one point, and has come back down to 3.5 again, where we used to play poker at here. Looking at Heritage as well, I have a 2 opener, and now it went down again. Went down to 1.5 at Heritage, but comes back up to 3.5 at one point here. Fascinating game. Maybe a San Jose spot, but I'd like to hear your thoughts here, Morgan.
Yeah, this is a confusing line to me. I think the line is telling me that I want to bet San Jose State. I think it's a road favorite because Loyola Chicago's 22-11, played in a tougher division than what San Jose State did. That being said, if you look at Loyola Chicago, they're a team that plays really well at home and not so well on the road. If you look at that winner NIT, they lost all those games in Hawaii. They haven't had to travel out west at all for any reason this year. They're out of conference games at the beginning of the season were all played at home. They're not tested on the road, and the season's over. The motivation comes into play. You make a big trip out west. I think this is a San Jose State spot. Loyola Chicago has the better players. Valentine's probably the better coach. That being said, the way I read this line is it's San Jose State or nothing.
I agree. It's San Jose State or nothing for me. I'm going to let this line marinate a little more. By the way, tune in tonight because it seems like we might have a impromptu live stream with just some of the guys getting together, talking ball here. So join in tonight if we end up doing that, and I'll let you guys know for sure if I'm ending up on San Jose State here. So I agree there. All right, Spoons, let's quickly recap action here. I'm not on anything yet, and you're just on Mount St. Mary's, correct?
Oh, yeah, Mount St. Mary's. Just lock me in right there for the show record. Is there 3 out there?
Let us check here. Gonna do a quick refresh here. I don't see a 3 out there yet. I just see 2.5s. Minus 113 is the, or I guess plus, minus 107 for the 2.5 there is what I'm seeing right now. But I definitely don't have all the books up, so let me know if you see differently there, Spoons.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take the 2.5 minus 107. I'll tweet out what I get later, but we can put that down for the show.
Beautiful. I will write that down for my old papa, Jimmy the Bag. Spoons, Mount, because he's obviously going to ask me. The first thing he's going to ask me, what was everyone on today? And I'll just tell him it's Morgan Spooner, Mount St. Mary's there. It's beautiful. All right, Spoons, you've been, obviously, like you said, you've been researching, you've been looking at these games for tomorrow. I wanted to quickly ask you here, you have a few minutes left. What do you like, if anything? Is there a game that has jumped out to you for tomorrow, or I guess this whole weekend? Is there a team perhaps that you like? Just give us your thoughts on the NCAA tournament, because like I said, you've been studying up, and if we don't have you tomorrow, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
So there's so much going on tomorrow. There's a lot of the games I like aren't necessarily the huge upsets. I think Louisville has basically a home game against Creighton, and I think that's a gift for Louisville right there. That's a spot that I'm most likely going to have on my card. Continuing down, I think VCU has a real shot to upset BYU. I like that. I haven't moved on it yet.
I think I'm going to move on that one, Spoons. I'll tell you that now. That line's very fishy to me.
UC San Diego, I got the plus 3.5. That was the only bet I've made on tomorrow's card so far. I texted Jimmy the moment I saw that selection. I said, Michigan's going down in the first round. I was really excited to see that. I like a lot of the chalk. I obviously will get more chance to talk about this tomorrow. Looking down the road, though, I think there's some great value on Vanderbilt. They're a 10 seed. Looking at the way the bracket shapes up, they might not have to beat that many good teams to get to a Final Four, and you can get over plus 5,000 odds on them to make a Final Four right now. That's something you could easily hedge out of. This Vanderbilt team really built well. As the season went on, they've showed they can beat anybody in the SEC, and that's the toughest conference. Getting them at a 10 seed is wild value. My 2 favorites to win the tournament are Houston. As you know, this is going to be played in San Antonio. That is a home court advantage. Houston, yes, this is a team that's been on the precipice of winning a championship for years now. Really well coached, some really good players. This had to have been a circled year for Sampson. He had to have looked at this and, how can I find a way to get this to be the year that I win a championship, or at least put myself in a position to do it again? I think also looking at the value, there's so many people on Florida, Auburn, Duke, that Houston's great value there. I love them. My favorite team, though, is St. John's. I got a tournament future on them. I think it's like 25-1. I think St. John's is set up to win the tournament. This team, really well coached. The guys on the court make great decisions with the basketball. There's no tougher defense in the country. They make you work for everything. Really, it's a team I like a lot. If you look at the way that bracket shapes up, you see Florida there, and you're like, wow, Florida's got to be one of the best teams in basketball. I don't even think they have to play Florida. I think Maryland knocks them off. Kevin Willard.
Wow. We're on the same page right now, Spoons, because I think the same thing.
I think Florida's unbattle tested this time of year. Golden, everything going on. These football stadiums full of drunk kids going to be yelling about all those sexual allegations. He's going to be pointing at refs, trying to get people kicked out. So many things going on that he can't properly manage his players. This is a spot where Kevin Willard's really got a great team, and he's a guy that's won before, and he's never really had a chance to prove it by himself. And I think he has a chance to knock out Florida there. That's one of my favorite spots. There's a team, Troy, a 14 seed. I believe they have a real good shot to make an upset win. Dayton Conroy, he's just one of those guys, an absolute dog, can change the outcome of a game. They force so many turnovers with that defense. Be a nice little first round matchup. I think that's Friday though, and not Thursday. Those are just some of my favorite ones. But you're looking at tournament futures. Houston, St. John's, and Vanderbilt are my favorites.
Beautiful. I like that. We're in kind of in lockstep right now because I'll spoil my bracket. My Final Four: Duke, Auburn, St. John's, and then Houston. So I'm right there with you.
So I want to reference Kongs here in the chat. Shout out Kongs, great copper. The NCAA run you went on this year was absolutely wild, so impressive. Earlier he asked about what I thought about that UNC game last night, and I thought that game was just set up for them to win. The crowd was all UNC. The refs felt like from the tip it was in UNC's favor. The fact they were in the game felt like they were cheated in there. I think it was just all it was rolling. And then on the psychology of how that works, he gets to go out there and be like, guys, they told you you're not supposed to be here. Let's show them that we need to get this win. And it happened. They ran with it. I don't, it's not for me, but I think they get knocked out in the first round. I think Illinois is a much better team than what they showed us towards the end of the season. I think some of that poor shot quality, if I can recognize it, maybe they can too. And I think they got a good coach there, maybe finds a way to get them to a Sweet 16.
Yeah, sorry, Saturated. I think UNC makes it to the Sweet 16 as well, or at least around the 32. I think they win as well. Sorry, Saturated. I agree with you. By the way, Nufflush Allen, shout out to you, Nufflush, dropping a Vandy to make the Sweet 16 at plus 950. Woo! Sounds like a good bet. Sounds like a good bet.
There's that one more comment. Auburn losing to Louisville. If you look at that, that is a home game. Listening to Rick Pitino's most recent St. John's press conference, they were asking him what he thought about being placed in the West Conference and with all those great coaches and everything. If he felt like he was at a disadvantage or an advantage, and he went on record and said, the only time I felt a real advantage was when I was a Louisville coach getting to coach in Lexington. I had the entire gym behind me. The entire gym was rooting for me. And I'm looking at it, and that's when I realized that Louisville was playing in Lexington for these two games. That's not fair. I agree. I think Auburn could go down. Bruce Pearl hasn't necessarily shown it before that he is that coach. That being said, this is a special Auburn group. I sat there with that on a couple of my brackets. I think I picked them once or twice, but I do believe that Auburn finds a way to win that game.
I agree with you. I picked Auburn to win that game, but it feels like it'll be a game where I bet Louisville as well, if they make it, obviously. I hope they do as well. So I agree. I agree there. And yes, Satcher, they're playing in Kentucky's gym, which I saw they were like 4 and like 18. But obviously Kentucky pretty good themselves. Morgan, I appreciate you. I thank you very much because you're basically only like super confirmed guest on this show today. So I thank you for joining me here. I hope that you maybe you didn't wake up at 5 a.m. to watch the Cubs. I hope you enjoyed the highlights a little bit at least. And some baseball back in your life. And I appreciate you for joining me here. Hopefully we can get you over the airwaves here during PUBAPALOOZA. Where can people find you and what's going on in Spoon's world?
You can find me on X at Spoons Bets. I'll always be in the chat here and on screen when you need me. It's college basketball season. I'm really locked in. I'm excited for this weekend. Got a lot going on with it. Baseball season's right around the corner. I'm obviously a big Cubs fan, pretty cynical Cubs fan. Looking at both those games, I expected the Dodgers to win. Didn't necessarily put any money on it. I'm gonna kind of wade my feet into this, not go into too fast to baseball season. I expect to be a lot of value in some of these shitty teams. I like to find just good pitchers on shitty teams, and it takes a couple weeks to identify those.
Well, I'll give you one right now, Spoons. In your backyard, not in Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox, Sean Burke, opening day starter for the White Sox this year. Sean Burke, White Sox pitcher that I will be backing this year, and I think will be
Lipscomb has a chance against Iowa State. Iowa State's missing their best scorer. Lipscomb has a couple of really good scores. What they do well is shoot the 3 ball. Their best player can score by himself, can drive to the basket, and when they kind of try to double him, he just tosses the ball outside, and they got 3 guys that can shoot over 40% from 3. All you got to do is get really hot. That's tough to do. If you want to bet some of these big money lines in March, do it in the first half. Thank yourself later. These really good coaches find a way. They don't let themselves lose. The first half is the spot for it. I think Iowa State's defense is too good for Lipscomb, but if they find a way to make those 3 balls go in, they definitely are live.
All right, well, beautiful. Morgan, I thank you. We got to get you out of here. Good luck on the rest of your day, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Enjoy it, guys. Happy PUBAPALOOZA.
Happy PUBAPALOOZA. Indeed. Beautiful, beautiful start here. By the way, not Flush Allen, shout out to you. I cashed my first MLB team total last night. Team total over 4.5 on the Dodgers. Excuse me. That was no sweat because I woke up and it was already 6-3. So shout out to you, not Flush Allen. Obviously, I always think about team totals and I associate them with you. And by the way, not sure if you can find any futures in college, but if you try to find a Noe Franco on TCU, take him. Is that Golden Spikes Award winner? Not Flush Allen, let us know. And by the way, another prop that I kind of like here, it's, I don't love juice, and if I wish the UFC boys were here because they love these juicy things, but 1 seeds to make the Elite Eight over 2.5 minus 125. Not too bad right there. Not too bad at all here. So I kind of enjoyed that stuff. So it'll be very interesting to see how all these games unfold here. But let's talk about hockey and let's get into the NHL. We only have 2 NHL games here to start, and then we're going to roll into the NBA chat. This is when you guys step up here. I need you guys to help me out in these moments here. We're going to break down NHL and potentially NBA by ourselves here. I will give you guys the market information, and I will talk about who I see in the confirmed, status, goal, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about, but I'll tell you guys goalie status is what I'm trying to say here, I guess. So let's get into it here. Shout out to you guys in the chat, and let's start with Colorado Toronto Maple Leafs marquee matchup here. Great matchup, and we've got 2 confirmed goalies. Mackenzie Blackwood for the Colorado Avalanche versus Joseph Woll here. So let's see what our friend Mackenzie Blackwood has done in the last few times he has been out there. Indeed, and again, guys, let me know what you guys are on. I'm interested. And I always like moving on hockey as well. So let me know what you guys are on. Indeed. Last 5 games for Mackenzie Blackwood. Played on the 11th at the Minnesota Wild. 23 saves, 1 goal against these Toronto Maple Leafs on March 8th. 21 saves, 4 goals against, but got the win there as well. That final score, by the way, for people that are wondering, 7-4. Colorado Avalanche beat the Toronto Maple Leafs there. And on the March 6th here, so it's been a little bit since he started, but March 6th, 34 saves, 3 goals against, a win against the San Jose Sharks, which ended up 7-3 there. So you guys can see 2 of these last 3 games for him, he's gotten hella goal support there. 2-1 loss in that last one against the Minnesota Wild there. So interesting to say the least here. On the other side, we have Joseph Woll here, and I don't know what it is about Woll here. I don't trust him. I will admit, maybe just because he's a Toronto Maple Leaf goalie. I don't know, but not someone I want to put my whole faith and bankroll in. He has 26 saves and 2 goals against in his last appearance against Calgary there, and a win against them. And that was on the 17th, by the way, so 2 days ago. He played against Utah on the 10th, another win, 33 saves, 3 goals against, and he got crushed against the Vegas Golden Knights there. Only 7 saves, 3 goals against. Something must have happened that game, to say the least there. But disgusting game from them. His last time facing the Colorado Avalanche. Let's see if he has. I don't think he has. He has not faced the Avalanche yet this season, so that's very interesting to say the least there. Let's talk about where the markets are in this game, and then we can see what you guys in the chat have to say here. I'm very interested, like I've been saying. We've got 91% of the bets, 94% of the money on the over, and this is, like I said, a pretty close money line, so we can use the money line percentages here. 73% of the bets, only 48% of the money on Colorado here. As for where this opened up at, and I'm changing all my vectors to NHL here, I'm seeing a 112 opener skyrocket up to minus 130, 135 here as well. Minus 112 opener goes all the way up for Colorado here. Very interesting, guys. Let me know what you guys are in the are on in the chat. It seems like a Colorado Avalanche spot to me, but yes, I do like that. Let me know what you guys are on here. Saturated, the shots and such will come on Friday, it seems. That'll be the day when my pussy is polluted. Shout out to you, Tori Coker. Nice to see you back in the chat here. Glad, everyone needs to take a leave of absence every once in a while. So nice to see you back in the chat. PUBAPALOOZA week is underway here, Tori. So nice to see you. Everyone flying in right now as we speak. So I like the Colorado Avalanche here on my book, and I will. This game starts at 7:07, so I will probably consult my father, Jimmy the Bag, on this one. But minus 130 Colorado Avalanche, and I'd like to see Mel, if you're in the chat here, what do you guys think about the Colorado Avalanche here today? Next game, and our last game in the National Hockey League here, is the Seattle Kraken versus the aforementioned Minnesota Wild, who we just talked about, taking a 2-1 victory against Mackenzie Blackwood in his last appearance. For goalies, we have Philip Gustafson confirmed, and we have no confirmed goalie for Seattle yet. So again, guys in the chat, if you guys have a goalie confirmation or inkling, let me know right now on Daily Faceoff. It has Philip Grubauer unconfirmed. I doubt that's the case, but Gustafson, Philip is the goalie here today. So let's see how he has done here in his last few games. Horrible spelling by me to try to even begin to spell this guy's name. His last 3 appearances against the LA Kings, a win, 29 saves, only 1 goal against. Sorry, I had a drink there. Only 1 goal against there, and then he played the St. Louis Blues before that win. 27 goal saves, 4 goals against, and he lost there. And by the way, that loss was a 5-1 loss for Minnesota there. And on the 13th, he went 31 saves, 3 goals, and the game went to overtime against the New York Rangers, where they would end up winning. So he's been pretty good in his last few. Again, let's check out and see if old Gusty has played Seattle this year so far. He has once, actually. His stats from that game, as I've got to scroll up and find it again, 36 saves, 3 goals against, and a victory against the Seattle Kraken, almost called them the Supersonics, on March 4th there, a 4-3 victory. And that was a 2-2 second period after a 2-1 first period for Minnesota to give them that lead. No goal scored in the third period there. Market in this game, let's roll on into it. No cash flow on the puck line here, but market saying 85% of the bets and 86% of the money is on the over. Oof. I don't necessarily love that. Let's see if this market has moved some juice in the direction of that total here. By the way, total opened up at a 6 in that Colorado-Toronto game, was juiced to the over, now juiced to the under, minus 113 now for the under 6. For Seattle, Minnesota here, very similar thing, minus 120 for that 5.5 to the over. Now the juice on the under there, minus 117 at some places for the under 5.5. So not too bad. Market-wise here, not something I am going to move on. I do like the under. If I had to make one play in each game, it'd be Colorado Avalanche money line in game 1, and then the under in game 2. By the way, Minnesota money line here went from -170 to -155, -163 at some places. So a little sketchy for those Minnesota Wild, but I like the under in that game, and I like the Colorado Avalanche there. Snub flushing. I can't get a confirmation of who's in net, but I'm heading towards a Wild team total over 3.5 plus 120. Nate Dogg saying Toronto money line, Austin Matthews goal, and Willie Nylander 1 assist. Leaning towards a draw as well. Interesting. Sorry. Gotta get these drinks in while I can, as doing the show by myself. You gotta sneak these in here. But beautiful. I like both those plays. I'm gonna ask my father, Jimmy the Bag, about them when he gets here. He'll be here around 7 Eastern. So it'll be very tight, but we'll see. Follow me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett. You'll see all the plays that I tweet out, and we'll get more information on there. You'll also probably see some hilarity from PUBAPALOOZA, pictures, videos, etc. So follow me on Twitter. And by the way, do not forget Swig puts it in the chat every once in a while. Sign up for the bracket pool, pubsportsradio.com. $50 to enter each one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm in both already. Confidence pool, honestly, I think I'm just going to be taking 1 seeds, which is pretty lame, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun, guys. So join us either here in person at PUBAPALOOZA this weekend, or join us in our contest at pubsportsradio.com. All right, let's roll in there. And by the way, Wine Time just landed in San Antonio. He's trying to get here ASAP. No rush, Wine Time. There's absolutely no rush. Don't feel obligated to, well, you're not driving. I was going to say get a ticket, but just no rush. We're going to get through these games. We have the best chat in the world, and I'm sure we'll get you in for the back half, and we'll talk about your flights and all that nonsense. So no rush, Wine Time at all. Let's roll into the NBA. We've got a few games to talk about here. Again, and people in the chat, and yes, Wine Time's got to get in there. That's funny. Don't worry. The show will not end until you get into this damn room here. But yes, we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to the NBA. So jump in here. If you guys are NBA heads, let us know what you guys are on. It's going to be very fun to break this games down with you guys. Mavericks Pacers, first game on our card. And as you probably see all over the web, everyone in Texas is sick of the Pacers, the Mavericks here. No one likes them anymore. They've alienated half their team, and they have been downright horrific here. Now, am I in the business of taking tens? No, I am not. I do not want to ever really lay points like that in the NBA, if I'm being honest. Consider a first half, but even then, 74% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Indiana Pacers here. And like we've seen here, it's gone from 7 to 10.5. So, I mean, I think Indiana is the right side here. For me personally, am I going to move on it? No. Let's check out where the totals have gone here. 83% of the bets, 82% of the money on the over here. Only a 1-point move, if that. BOL had a 233. Now we have 234.5. And Heritage, let's see here, 234. And it hasn't moved. So, I mean, I lean under. The NBA is, I think, the most difficult sport to bet here. So betting a total NBA in the NBA, probably not going to be there for me. But I do like the Indiana Pacers to cover here, and I like an under as well. Tori Coker saying my best bet in the NBA is the Heat to lose the second half. They have been horrific second half, Tori. I've seen that. They've been blowing leads left and right, so that's a good angle there as well. Full tank for those Heat. And Woo Rizza leaning Mavs. Can't get there, though. Shout out to Woo Rizza. Appreciate you for dropping that in there. Houston, Orlando, our next game on the slate. And shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey, who's on the Orlando Magic. +3 here for Stacks play of the day.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Shout out to you, Justin, my guy. He's on the Orlando Magic here. Houston Rockets favored on the road. Two very difficult teams. I guess they're two teams going in the opposite directions. Personally, you could say it's injury related for the Magic, sure, but just not a team I've been backing or want to back. Truthfully, we've got 67% of the bet, 61% of the money on the Rockets, and with all these injuries, Paolo Banchero has such a load. He's got to take shitty shots as well, so hopefully it doesn't become a thing for him, but. Not something or not a team that I am running to the window to back, especially because the offensive woes for the Magic are just so brutal here. So I'm not going to move on the Magic here. I'll tell you that. Last few games here, I will say the Magic, they did beat, and let me double check to make sure they beat the Cavaliers. Yeah, last time out, 108-103. Again, they're going to bring you down into the muck with them. So you're not going to see 120, 115 points. You're going to get them down into the mud. Magic also lost at the Minnesota Timberwolves. They beat the Pelicans at the Pelicans, and they lost to these very Rockets 97-84 just a few days ago on the 10th. And again, these are all on the road here. So this is very interesting. Magic coming home from a long road trip. And the Rockets on the opposite situation. They've won 7 straight games. Let that be known. They've won 7 straight games, and they've all been, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but their last 5 games, all at home there. Their last road game was on the 6th against the Pelicans, which they won. They won a back-to-back against the Pelicans on the 6th and the 8th, and that started their homestand. I mean, it's just not a spot I want to back the Rockets here, if I'm going to be honest. It smells a little fishy that this is only a 2-point spread, if I'm being honest. And again, it's funny that I'm saying I don't want to back the Rockets here after saying I don't want to back the Magic because of how bad they've been. But 2.5 points just really is not that much, especially. I guess they're on the road, so, take those points with you there. But it's just not a spot that I'm very interested in. I am semi-interested in an under. 208 has gone up to a 209.5, even 210s at some places here as well. 83% of the bets and money on the over here. Again, I could probably only lean under. And this would be one of those spots where you just sit, wait. Jesus, excuse me. Sorry. I'm already exhausted, I guess, from PUBAPALOOZA, and it hasn't even started. But I would sit there, wait, and hope that this line keeps going up and you take the under at that highest point there. So no action for me here. Guys in the chat, let me know. I do think that Orlando Magic is live or are live here after breaking it down here for sure. Dougie Wise saying free bands play of the day, Rockets -2. Shout to you, Dougie Wise. Thank you for dropping that in here. As well, our guy Wine Time on the Magic moneyline +130. I like that look. Saturated Sengun points, rebounds, and assists. He basically took off last game. That's funny. T-Moss, don't you worry. We're going to have live betting streams throughout the whole week. All right, I should say the whole weekend. So I'll give you a mini rundown of the schedule here, T-Moss, while we're here talking about it. Let me scroll real quick. So yes, like you see there on the 20th, which is tomorrow, we'll be doing a live betting with the bag, 11 a.m. CST. That is 12 noon EST there. So we'll be starting the shows all this week at noon again. Jimmy the Bag in studio. We'll be breaking down all the games here like we usually do. And after, kind of have to gauge the timing because we have the Locker Room Talk podcast that are going to hopefully record a show here as well. But we're going to do a live betting stream tomorrow for sure. I can tell you that right now, T-Moss. Tomorrow, or excuse me, on the 21st, same situation. Live betting with Bouquett, I should say, betting with the bag again, 12. Then after, we'll probably do a live betting stream as well, and that will roll right into the poker tournament, which we will get some live footage from. Big Show will be dealing the cards. That'll be a whole lot of fun. Dabby Cab and company will be in the studio talking about the games, breaking them down there. And nice to see Dabby Cab in the chat right now. 22nd, UFC live stream. There'll be one right in the morning. It's UFC Paris or London, I forget. So that'll be a whole lot of fun. Check in the morning for that. More March Madness streams later that night for an epic day there. And then the 23rd, kind of the only day where we're kind of light on live streams. We're going to be going to Retama Park, betting horses. That won't be streamed live. We'll come back, stream live for a bit until the comedy show. So that all happens this weekend. So T-Moss, don't you worry. Got hella live streams coming your way. Don't you worry. All right, let's keep rolling here. And I thank all you guys for being in the chat, dropping a like, doing the whole thing. Nice to see Dabby Cab. We'll see Dabby Cab hopefully tomorrow. Same thing with Sweaty Butcher in the chat here. And yes, Canada versus America golf. I'm thinking about how I want to format that. I would love to hear suggestions from you guys because we have 10 players playing golf with us tomorrow. And it's going to be very difficult to do Canada versus America like that. I've considered doing team captains. Maybe we have Ixnizzle and Gokster are the team captains, and they pick, their guys. So we'll see. Excuse me. Jesus. I guess I got to get that out. Excuse me. Sorry. But I've definitely considered that as the format for this year when we'll combine the team score and see how all that works out. But all this stuff can be decided here shortly. I know you guys are here to talk about some Detroit basketball against the Miami Heat here. Shout out to Cade Cunningham, Oklahoma State guy. Market in Pistons versus the Miami Heat here. 76% of the bets, 75% of the money here on the Detroit Pistons. Very popular favorite here. It has gone to 4 to 4.5 here. I'm going to refresh my odds sheet real quick to make sure I've got all the updated lines. Yep, -4.5 here. Juice is going their direction, so don't be surprised if we saw a 5 here. The Miami Heat, horrible right now, just horrible. After they traded Jimmy Butler, it's been kind of full-on tank. You guys heard Torrey Coker say earlier, best angle for him right now, betting against the Heat in the second half. So shout out to you, Torrey. By the way, let us know. I think that you can only do that live, I believe, right? So let us know how you all do that and such. It'll be fun. Nut Flush Allen, you want me to fly Cade now for Team USA? No, Nut Flush, because he'd kick all of our asses. Nut Flush. Shout out to Caden for qualifying for the junior PGA events and such and dominating them as well. I wish that I could drive a ball 300 yards, Nut Flush. I dream that dream. I'll take my shitty 200-yard drives and keep rolling, I guess. Detroit basketball for AOD, thinking Smack City for him. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned the total here, but 86% of the bets and money on the over here. We've only gone from 218 to 218.5, so really not that much movement. Makes me consider an under here as well. So I'd look under in that game here as well. Spoon saying I look good in the studio. You look good today, Spoon, and so are your looks. Thank you very much here. Woo Rizza also leaning Heat here. And T-Moss says, tell me if you run into a guy named Blake McShay. Maybe I will. Maybe I will, T-Moss. Who knows? Shout out to you. It's going to be a whole lot of fun having everyone in here. Like I said, it's my favorite weekend of the year. It is a very stressful week for me personally because I've got, doing a bunch of stuff. Like after this show, I'm going to say hello to Wine Time, hello to Believe Razor. I'm going to say this quietly because I don't know this to be true, but I think even Peter Loshak is on the plane. They're going to be in the same, Uber with them. So hopefully they can just storm in and say hello. But then I've got to run to a liquor store, go buy Jimmy some Jameson. I'm actually going to buy, Jimmy doesn't watch these, so I'm going to buy Jimmy a present as well, a nice little another bottle that he hopefully will like. And then we'll roll right into the PUBAPALOOZA festivities. I'd like to, get my shit together a little bit, but it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I've got to pick up Nate and do the old thing. And by the way, and you're right, Wine Time, you're in Texas when you see Big Red and plastic bottles at the airport. Big Red, quality Big Red soda there as well. Mr. Heat saying my bum ass Bulls plus 6.5. We'll talk about your bum ass Bulls here shortly, Mr. Heat. Let's roll on to New Orleans Pelicans, Minnesota Timberwolves. This will be a short breakdown. And again, I'm not going to end this goddamn show without getting Wine Time Sports in here. So, Wine, don't you worry. We might not break all the games down individually, but we will have Wine Time Sports in studio to give out his action. He tweeted out his card, so follow him or me on Twitter. You'll see it on both at Wine Time Sports. I retweeted it already, I believe, as well. So, Minnesota Timberwolves and New Orleans Pelicans. AOD, I cannot get him a bottle of Kraken. That is funny. That would be hilarious, but it'd be like, sending a Vietnam War vet back to Vietnam to just experience all his PTSD again. I just can't do that to him as well. Thank you, Tori, for letting us know there how you do it. But yeah, that'd be really funny though, AOD as well. So this game, Pelicans, Timberwolves. I mean, what is there to say about the Pelicans? They stink. They've been stunk all year. We thought they would be a little better. At the very least, Zion's playing, but they still stink. And Minnesota seemingly started to pick it up. They've started to learn how to play with each other. The Julius Randle show is starting to work there. And Edwards is shooting really well. So I can't get into the groove of betting a 13-point underdog. I'll tell you that now. But let's check out the market and see if maybe it'll make it a little more appealing. 61% of the bets, 77% of the money on the Minnesota Timberwolves here. If the line is at least moved against the Minnesota Timberwolves, that would make me feel a little better, but still. And it hasn't. Opened up at 12. We're at 13 across the board. If I was a Timberwolves bettor, would I want more movement? Yeah, but I just don't know. I just don't want to back the Pelicans. They're a garbage team. And sure, 13 points seems like a lot for, I'll say, a Timberwolves team that is really not that good, if I'm being honest. I don't believe in the Timberwolves at all. I just can't get there. So no action for me here as well. That is funny. Spoon saying you should get some pigeon noises for the soundboard at Pub to give Jimmy some real PTSD. I might have to do that. Some whoo, whoo, even though that sounds like an owl. But yes, that's a good idea, Spoons. I might have to play that throughout the show here, and he'll just be looking around, waiting for an airdrop of shit to come through here. Res Mob saying, "What you play USA Canada Scramble?" It's just so many people. Res, we have 10 people. It'd be a little funny if we played teams and it was alternate shot for every shot. So 5 people playing one shot per hole would be a little funny, but we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do team captains and then have the captains pick their teams and do the whole thing. So it'll be a whole lot of fun to see how it all goes. Christopher Commentini is saying, "I'm just happy they didn't mistake Jose for a Tren de Aragua gang member." Well, I am tatted, Christopher Commentini, so I had to hide my gang affiliated tats. So made it through just barely. So Tori Coker on Minnesota first half. Mr. Heat asking about the Raccoons. That's a tough question, Mr. Heat, because they definitely are still around the apartment complex, not in my apartment, which is nice. But we definitely have a roach issue, Mr. Heat. The raccoons are gone, but now we've got bugs. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But thank you for asking, Mr. Heat there. And yes, come on, Christopher Commentini. I don't know. gang affiliated, as they say, tatted up. But thank you for asking, Mr. Heat, and thank you for always thinking about us here. Next game on our card, Oklahoma City Thunder, Philadelphia 76ers. Good Lord, does this Philadelphia 76ers team suck? They bench, or I guess deactivate Paul George for the rest of the season, full tank, because they need to get down below that 6th spot for their pick. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are the recipient of that team or that pick. Now, as my guy Billy Brisbane would say, let's put the tinfoil hat on. Let's get a little greasy, a little grimy. A win here for the 76ers would definitely help the Oklahoma City Thunder and their chances to get that pick. I don't have the standings in front of me right now, but I know the separation between like that 5, 6, 7, 8 spot is very, very close, like a half game, 1 game back. So, like would I hate necessarily taking the 11.5 with the 76ers and say the Thunder don't bring their best effort? No, but this Thunder team has kind of made their bones this regular season off just being effort. Just they try hard, and they're deep, and they're young guys that don't take days off. So I can't really get there at the end of the day with the 76ers, but right now it's definitely leaning towards the 76ers. Aaron Wiggins comment from our guy Saturated, Mike Wilkerson saying Grimes over 3.5 assists here. Man Bear Pig, thanks for jumping in here. I see you got to NBA. That Pacers line is a trap, if you ask me. All the Pacers top point scorers are questionable, and they probably won't play. Good note there, Man Bear Pig. That's very fascinating there. I hope that we're live still and we get some more injury information. Man Bear Pig, if you do see that information throughout the show or during the show, let us know for sure here. AOD saying backwoods here. I mean, again, it's just a grimy, disgusting theory, but I know that the 76ers aren't trying, but would Sam Presti have the balls to be like, you know what, SGA, take the day off. We don't need you today. They lose this game and they get another win for the 76ers to potentially get their pick. I don't know. But I lean 76ers here plus the 11.5. And you guys know at this point, I typically don't want to lay those points anyway. So, and in games like this, I'm just trying to find a reason to take the dog. And that would be one of the games I take. So, backwoods for me. By the way, Sweaty Butcher, in the thing that I got recently in the mail, I was humored. I laughed at the fact that there were backwoods in the thing that I recently received. Like there wouldn't be backwoods here. But that was funny. I got a good laugh out of that. So shout out to you, Sweaty Butcher. Tori Coker saying Philly first quarter for me, and Saturated saying Thunder don't need SGA to cover. They probably don't. But would it be nice if I was a Phillies backer or 76ers backer and he wasn't in the lineup? Yeah, it would be. So no action for me. I know, Ram. I fucking know. People are watching this guy cap NHL and NBA by himself. No guess. I know. Ram, I appreciate you for being in here. Wine Time Sports is going to storm into this studio here in about 10 minutes-ish. And it'll be very funny. He'll talk about the rest of the NBA with me here. But yes, Ram, we're doing the goddamn thing. As everyone's traveling today to San Antonio. Shout out to Jimmy, all the Canadians, and everyone in here. Sweaty, I've got one for you. I've got one, and I will empty it out of all my mids. So you can use your grade A shit. And selfishly, I will be picking up the scraps of that, obviously, as well. So shout out to you, my guy, Sweaty, and Rem. I appreciate you for being in here. Rem, I love Rem most. You know, he talks shit, gives it, takes it. Rem most, one of my favorite commenters. Shout to I've already forgotten the guy that always says that I owe him money, and he's gonna come in here and say I owe him money. God damn it! I forgot your name already. But shout out to you, Tori. Barry Smith? I don't know. See, I have a shitty memory, guys. Sorry. Let's move on because this is obviously shitty podcast and shitty show content here as we're talking sports ball here. New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs. For those who are coming into San Antonio, hey, you know, if you don't want to hang out with the boys in the studio and such, maybe you go to San Antonio Spurs, New York Knicks. Pretty good game here today. 8.5 point, and obviously the games would be much more appealing if De'Aaron Fox and Wemby were there, but the Spurs go into full tank here. I'll admit it. 8.5. I kind of do like the Spurs as a home underdog. The Knicks have not been a team that has really impressed me, and I need to. Yes, it is Barry Smith. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I could not remember his name there, and I should. He's one of my guys, apparently. Can someone let me know? I'm gonna look right now about Jalen Brunson's status. I don't expect him to be playing in this game. He's expected to be out through late March, early April. Okay, good. 8.5 points without their best player, and it's just Cat. I kind of do like the Spurs here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. The Spurs have been a better team at home, and again, it's not like I'm inventing fucking new stats here, guys, because most teams should be better at home here. Let's check and look and see specifically here how they've been doing at home. Home record, they are 17-16 compared to a 10-22 road record. Good Lord. By the way, the New Orleans Pelicans 6-28 on the road, and not to be outdone by the Utah Jazz, who are 8-26 at home, 7-28 on the road, on an L10 for the Utah Jazz. Good Lord. Talk about them here shortly, but it's just a lot of points here for the Knicks team that I don't think is very good with Jalen Brunson in the lineup. So, will the Spurs have the bodies to be able to take advantage of these absences is the real question. 75% of the bets, 66% of the money on the Knickerbockers here. 8.5 point spread has gone up to 9. I need to write these bets down here real quick because I'm looking to move on quite a few things here today, it seems. Colorado Avalanche. Can you guys remind me? I was on the under in Utah, Minnesota under 5.5. And this line right here, I like the Spurs. I really do. Maybe I'm being a homer, and I will again consult my elders to see what they think about this game. But I like the Spurs here to cover, make this game close. And by the way, Spoons, I've got to write down Mount St. Mary's plus 2.5 there to join you. We'll be betting that with you as well. But yeah, Spurs, I think are in a decent spot here. They had that game the other day against the what are their team? The Lakers. So it'll be an interesting game. And by the way, cheap tickets, only $10 to get in. Only $10 to get in here. Last game they lost to the Lakers, but I think the little fracas in there might galvanize the boys and get them going. And by the way, an interesting story about Popovich came out recently with Ramona Shelburne and all of them talking about how he's getting healthy. So I think the Spurs will be very interesting in this game, and plus 9, I will be probably moving on them. Next, the aforementioned Utah Jazz. Thank you, Coin. And Woo Rizza, thank you for that note. I starred your note there. Maybe I'll take them team total or early. I like that first half, maybe. Coin, a good comment in here, dropping his action. Samford, not Stanford, Samford plus 7.5. North Alabama plus 3.5. Xavier minus 2.5. UC Irvine game over. San Francisco. And he also leans American under there as well. Thank you, Coin, for dropping your action in here as well. Let's keep it rolling here. And Penny Bombs saying, on the plane, got the Wi-Fi working, and it will be there soon. Shout out to you, Spenny Penny Bombs, I take my hat off to you. Cannot wait to see you guys very soon. Washington versus the Utah Jazz here. I just got done telling you guys how bad the Utah Jazz were. 10 games in a row they've lost. Now they're a 4.5-point favorite here. Good Lord. 4.5-point favorites against a really bad team, obviously, in the Washington Wizards. I mean, that goes without being said. I didn't check the Wizards home road splits. I'm going to look at them right now just to humor myself. Good Lord. 7-25 on the road, and they are a paltry 8-26 out on the road there. So 7-25 at home, 8-26 on the road. Good Lord. Horrible basketball team. I will say I do feel vindicated for all my Jordan Poole hate. But what are you going to say? He won them in the game the other day. Probably pissed off a lot of people in the Wizards front office here. But this game is huge for draft pick implications. Both these teams, again, horrible. Both these teams have 52 wins. A must-lose game for the Wizards. It's crazy. I don't know what to make of this game here. Are both these teams going to try? I do not think so. It's just a race to the bottom here. Both these teams lost their last time out. Wizards lose to the Portland Trailblazers. The Jazz get crushed by the Bulls of all team, 111-97. So not like too bad, but honestly, for me, it's just take the points to the Wizards plus 4.5, or just take the Wizards money line. Because like I said, both these teams do not want to win this game. And I just think that Will Hardy is a much better coach. So I'd be on the Wizards here plus 4.5, I guess. I don't know. It's just a tough game. By the way, these teams have played once already. 122-125 Wizards victory. So maybe you look at an over, because you just hear that total, that last game was so high in the total. 53% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Wizards here, 67% of the bets and money on the over in this game. Line has gone from wow. Line open at 3, go to 3.5, and now we're seeing 4s available in this game. It's just a tough game. It's a bum fight of all bum fights, and I never want to back these games here. Spenny dropping some good player props. There we go. It took me a second to think about what the fuck those bets were, but they're player props. Isaiah Collier double. Loves him some Filipowski here, as well as Saturated. Von Polo says, give me the Wizards here as well. It's very interesting here as well. Okay. All right. I'm not going to back this game. It's not going to be a game I write down, but I'm telling you now, neither one of these teams want to win this game. And in those occasions, I never know what to do. Market is saying it's a Jazz spot. I'll say that. Market's saying it's a Jazz spot. Will these teams want to, cancel, or will the Jazz want to end their 10-game winning streak? I think so, but no action here for me. Big game for the Cooper Flag sweepstakes there. Denver, Los Angeles Lakers, a huge game. Probably the game of the night here. LA Lakers, 1.5-point underdogs in crypto. I was about to call it Staples, but in crypto. Here's the thing, guys. I know everyone's been all over the Lakers recently, and again, maybe this is the Celtics fan coming out of me. But I just don't think this Lakers team's good. And an old man LeBron James, who I will check the status of right now and hopefully get some information. I mean, they keep that shit locked up like it's Fort Knox. So guys in the chat, let me know if you guys see if he's going to play this game. I expect him to not play in this game. I'll tell you guys that now, but I don't know. On ESPN, he's listed as out right now, and his date to return is 24th. So if we're getting no LeBron James and it's just Luka and a team with no center, and you have to guard Jokic, I mean, it feels like the Nuggets roll here. The -1.5 was a fishy line. At the very least, we're getting 2s now. Market in this game is pretty split ticket and bets wise against the spread. 55% of the bets, 49% of the money on the Lakers, 77 and 77 on the total going over here. And this opened up at a 2. Like I said, I'm seeing 2.5s now. Oh, and by the way, excuse me, I was looking at this wrong. And I need to click on this to double check to make sure this is accurate. But this actually opened up -2 Los Angeles here, which is crazy, I think. It goes to immediately pretty quickly goes to 1.5, pick 'em, and flips there. -2, 2.5 now are the Denver Nuggets here. You guys let me know in the chat. If you guys feel strongly about the Lakers, I will not be on it here, but I do like the Nuggets here to roll quite honestly here. Let's see here. Not saturated. Sweaty Butcher says we only want Jazz team total unders on back-to-backs. It's nice. Woo Rizzo likes Lakers first quarter. Dougie Wise saying I haven't bet it, but I like my Lakers here. Spenny saying Jokic and Luka triple doubles are auto plays here. I mean, you're right about that, Spenny. I think Luka will try to show out because Jokic and Luka love each other. They just, it's a Baltic countries thing, I guess. I don't know. But they love each other. They're very good friends. They always fuck with each other during the All-Star games and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if both had good games. I agree with you there. Von Paulo saying Lakers money line 5 units. Ooh, God, that makes me not want to bet the Nuggets. I'll tell you that. Saturated likes AR-15, who should be a San Antonio Spurs. Disgusting stuff here. Kong's Clips, could you imagine if the Spurs ended up with Cooper Flag? I would lose my shit. That would be awesome here. And Nuke Worker saying we started to descend into Atlanta to catch our connections to the Alamo. Good luck, Nuke Worker. The Atlanta airport is rather big, so good luck. And let me tell you what, customer service is not the number one thing over there. They don't go fuck. They'll get you in and out quickly. So shout out to you there. Nut Flush Allen. There we go. We've got all Wine Time Sports walking into the building right now. So we'll get Wine Time in here. And I'm sure many people are saying, God, finally, no more solo Jose. Thank the Lord. And here comes the one, the only Wine Time Sports. Wine Time. It's nice to see you. Hello. Wine, if you could do me a favor. Oh, and immediately knocks down the mic. Could you throw them in my wallet when you can? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Yeah. Wine is in the building here. Jeff, if you could do me the favor, could you do some camera adjusting here? That would be lovely here. Wine, it is nice to see you. Yeah, get that in there. Yeah, just snap it in there. Yeah. And then, oh, yeah, come on. There we go. Beautiful. Wine, it's a nice time to see you. It's that one right now that I'm on, the one right in front of me. Yes, that one. Just zoom that one out and pan a little bit to Wine if you could. That'd be great. But Wine, it's nice to see you. How's your flight?
It was good. It was nice and quick. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Nice little Uber right here. Nice Uber driver. So it was cool.
That is lovely.
Locked in.
There we go. Zoom. And we're gonna see our guy Wine Time in here. So Wine, you've capped this whole card. You were revving to go. You said, I'm going to get here early. I'm going to cap all these games.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not going to be the bastard doesn't have these caps. So God bless you. Wine, we've talked about half these games already. You tweeted out your card. So I'd love to hear in a semi-rapid fire fashion. Headphones, I will give you headphones soon because they unplugged them earlier. There you go. So, but yes, Wine Time. Let us know in a semi-rapid fire fashion here what you're on. Again, you tweeted it out earlier today, so I'll give you time to let you pull up the tweet here. And beautiful. And then you're going to plug it. Yep, you're going to plug it into this thing where you see the headphones. Beautiful. Look at us. This is some great work being done here on the fly here. All right, Wine, go ahead.
All right, we're locked in, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, got all my plays posted on Twitter this morning. Beat some of the line movement, didn't beat some of it. I'm on the Magic. I'm on the money line here. Let me look at this. Let me just bring it up right now. Sorry, I don't got connected to my Wi-Fi on my laptop.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Radio at 101 is the password for the Wi-Fi, and that is for everyone that's coming in here as well. Radio at 101, I believe, is the password. So shout out to you guys. But he likes the he likes the Orlando Magic. We talked about that game. I was very interested in the Magic as well. And here you go. Look at that wine time. Can you share you the Wi-Fi directly there? What a beautiful time. But Magic for wine time, and he takes a money line here. He's done that all season because there's 1.5, 2 point dogs or whatever, just not kind of worth it. You just take the plus money there instead. So you like the Magic?
Yeah, the Magic have to win this game. I mean, Houston's on a nice run right now. I've been backing them this season in certain spots. This just screams like an Orlando Magic spot right here. They need this win. Sitting 5 games under 500 right now. We are seeing majority of the public come in and taking the Houston Rockets right here. We're seeing 67% of bets, 61% of money. Line's not really moving. It's moving towards Magic. I think it's only going to get moved more towards the Orlando Magic. I think they're going to take care of business here at home. They need this win here. It's now or never for the Orlando Magic. I think they're going to get the win here.
Well, also wine time. You can't see the comments right now, but I will let you know that you are dwarfing me right now. Apparently, I look like a little boy, and you look like a giant. So thank you for looking gigantic, and I will happily make you look much bigger. What else are you on?
Let's go to Miami. You know what I mean? This line screams fishy line right here. If I haven't seen one, we're seeing 75% come in on Detroit, just 25% on Miami. Miami 10 games under 500, going nowhere fast.
Very bad.
A couple weeks ago, I was telling Jimmy this is a team I wanted to fade going forward. Didn't really take advantage of it like I should have. And I'm not going to do it here. I think this is a Miami Heat spot here. I don't think the Miami Heat are going to really make a run into the playoffs by any means. Maybe make a play-in spot. I'm not sure where they are on the standings. I don't have that in front of me, but they're playing at home here. I think they're going to have a good home crowd advantage there. The line's going down. It's to a 4.5. I got 5.5 earlier this morning before I got on my flight. Tweeted out at -110. I still like the 4.5 because I think they're going to win outright. I didn't want to take the money line here, though. I want to be safe. I'm going to take the points in my back pocket.
Okay, so the Heat. Saturated saying the Heat, get the fuck out of here. So you're at least in great company there without Saturated there. What else are you on here? I saw a lot of fading the Heat second half here. Our guy Irish King also likes the Heat plus 4.5 here. Very interesting. What else?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to the chat. I see my guy Switty Butcher in there. My guy, see you tomorrow. Saturated in there as well. Irish King, Dougie Wise. Good to see you guys, man. AOD, OG right there. Swig Bets. Can't wait to kick it with you here. Is Swig here right now?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Shit, we'll see you soon, Swig.
It's a great question.
Nuke Worker, we'll see you tonight. Dougie Wise, everyone out there, man. Appreciate you guys for being in the chat. It's a blessing to be down here in San Antonio, capping this card with my guy Jose right here. And yeah, going to this next game. We're gonna go right to my home city, man. We're gonna go to LA, Jose. We're gonna go to crypto.com arena, man.
This is gonna be a good game. This is a game we were just talking about, no LeBron, obviously. Feels trappish, I'm not gonna lie, this line, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's funny, 2 weeks ago, my boss told me, he's like, yo, you want to go to the Knicks game on Wednesday night? I was like, yeah, he hits me up the night before, didn't have the tickets. Hits me up yesterday. He's like, yo, do you want to go to the Nuggets game tomorrow? I was like, I'm actually going to be in San Antonio watching the March Madness. I was going to be at this game, and if I was going to be at this game, I know who I'm going to take. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets here without LeBron James. I think they need LeBron out there. Luka is definitely the number one option, but there's only so much he can do out there. They've got Reeves out there doing this damn thing, man. Austin Reeves is playing at an extremely high level right now, extremely high level. It's actually kind of crazy to see right now. But I'm on the Nuggets here in this spot. I think that they're healthy. The Lakers aren't until LeBron comes back. I'm not going to start backing the Lakers right now. Kind of been fading them this year in certain spots. Haven't been successful in certain spots either, but I'm on the Nuggets here. Let me just make sure what I tweeted out. I did get -2 and the line's still at -2. I think it's give or take. It's going to move up to a 2.5 before tip off. There was some questions going on if LeBron was going to play tonight. He got announced out. He's not playing. We'll see if he plays tomorrow, but I think the Nuggets are going to take care of business. Last time the Lakers played them, Lakers took care of business, and we know the Nuggets own the Lakers head-to-head historically these last couple of years, especially in the playoffs. So yeah, Nuggets, Jose, -2, -110 here. I'm fading my team.
I mean, I agree. As like I said as a Celtics fan, I mean, maybe I was thinking fade the Lakers is just instinct here, but I agree. I don't believe that the Lakers, and especially with no center. I mean, who the hell is going to guard Jokic? So that'll be fun. But I agree with you, Spenny. Double doubles, triple doubles for Jokic and Luka. Probably going to happen. I think they both have nice games. Let's roll on here. Saturated. I was thinking about saturated in chat. Wine time. Let's go to Chicago Phoenix Suns here. The Bulls. I think Mr. Heat said earlier he's going to take his Chicago Bulls here today. I think he got plus 6.5. By the way, Sweaty, but you're asking about what the weather is. It's beautiful here.
Perfect. 75 degrees.
Yeah, come on, dude.
They told me it was going to be wind gusts of 30 miles per hour on the flight, and I got off the flight, and there's no wind out there. It's perfect. This is a perfect day.
Yes. So shout out to you, Sweaty. You don't even have to have a hoodie here. But let's talk about this game. We'll first talk about where the line has moved. This is a funny game because everyone's hated the Phoenix Suns in the last few weeks because their effort's been horrible. Bradley Beal's like the epitome of what everyone hates in this NBA right now. Line opened up at a 7.5, and we're down to 6 and 5.5 here already. And let's talk about where the money is because it's not like it's been all over the Bulls. 50-50, basically 49% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Phoenix Suns here. I mean, it seems like the Bulls are live again because of this market. 78% of the bets, 77% of the money on the over in this game. Unsurprisingly there if you've watched here. But this total has dropped from 237 down to 234, what I'm seeing right now. And on like Heritage, for example, opened up 236 down to 234 there. So it feels like a Bulls in the under spot here. Wine, what do you think?
I could only take the Bulls here in this spot, Jose. I mean, the Phoenix Suns, one of the most inconsistent teams in the NBA this season. You're relying on the Devin Booker and Kevin Durant show, and that's something I can't rely on a night-to-night basis when it's just them two going out there trying to put the ball in the hoop. They got Bradley Beal as well, but I mean, Bradley Beal, I don't expect much from Beal nowadays. Yeah. Chicago Bulls, though, surprisingly been playing really gritty, Jose, these last couple of weeks, and I don't know why I haven't been on them, if I'm being completely honest. In a lot of these spots, definitely seems like a Chicago Bulls spot. They've got the guys, they've got the gritty guys that can compete with this Phoenix Suns team and give them trouble, give guys like Devin Booker trouble. I mean, if you can stop either Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, you can most likely beat this Phoenix Suns team. Josh Giddey's been playing some big time ball. Trey Jones at the point for the Bulls playing good. Kobe White, he's a walking bucket. And you got Vucevic down low too. That's a pretty average center, but still pretty good. Have nothing in this so far, Jose. What did you have this open up as, Jose? Was this 6.5?
I had 6.
Okay, so it hasn't moved. I had
7.5. My bad.
Okay, I was gonna say I had 6.5.
Yeah, I had 7.5 where I used to play poker. And then like Heritage had 7, I believe, as well. Yes, Heritage had 7, go down to 6.5. So it just feels like, Bulls, you just grit your teeth and bet the Bulls. You hopefully don't watch it.
Not watch the game.
Yeah, you have money somewhere else, but it does indeed feel like a Bull spot there. I have them written down here. I have a few bets that I've written down, but obviously my Peepaw gets in town soon, so I've got to ask old Jimmy what he has to think about these games as well to see. But let's keep rolling on here. We've got one more game to talk about live here, and that is the Memphis Grizzlies and Portland Trailblazers here. Memphis opening up at 3.5 here, up to 4.5, and as well, the total has not moved really. 235.5. Basically the same there. I've seen 235s, but not much movement at all here. And we have, and by the way, I definitely have eaten one of the graphics here. We have 2 more games, actually. Sacramento, Cleveland still on our card here. The last game we'll talk about. But 63% of the bets, 66% of the money on the Grizzlies here. We've gone up a little bit. But I'm just not really in the market for betting the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers are a decent bad team. Doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean they're horrific. They've just been pretty meh. Me personally, they're better than the Spurs, which you didn't think that was going to happen before the season. And they're hot right now. 2-game winning streak, wine time. So what do you think about this game? I don't really love the Memphis Grizzlies, but I don't love the Trailblazers enough to get there either.
Yeah, I mean, John Morant's not playing in this one, correct, Jose? Yeah, he's ruled out for this one. It's looking like, right? You have him ruled
I'll
out?
double check for you right now.
I think I got him ruled out in this one. He doesn't look like he's projected in the starting lineup, which is probably why we're seeing the 6.5 go to the 4.5 here in this spot.
Won't play officially 5 minutes ago.
He will not play?
Will not play.
I mean, if that was just 5 minutes ago, this line has been 4.5 for the last. I mean, since I was on the airplane, I thought it was still 4.5. They must have known he wasn't going to play in this one. Yeah, we're seeing the public back the Memphis Grizzlies here, and it has moved towards the Blazers. I think it's more so because Jaw's out, but I'm not going to get in front of the Memphis Grizzlies without John Morant. We saw them, what was it, last year, 2 years ago when he was out. They played really well. I think it was 2 years ago. So I'm going to stay away from this game. I could only lean towards the Portland Trail Blazers. I mean, if you got a free bet on this one and you just want to throw $100 on something, I would say throw it on the money line plus 150. You're going to get 1.5 times your money rather than taking the 4 points because I think they're going to win this game outright. But I'm not going to take it. I don't have enough in me to take it yet.
Yeah, I don't have the cojones either there. Desmond Bain, Puntos for Saturated here. Thank you for adding a little Spanish in here, Saturated, making us a little cultured. Shout out to you there. Our guy Razor Sharp Picks just entered the bracket there. Our guy Swiggy will get you squared away here in a second. Razor, shout out to you. And Razor just got done packing.
Let's go. As
well. So shout out to you, Razor. We'll see you very soon there. And there's a punch there as well. Shout out to Razor as well. Last game, Mr. Wine Time Sports. We didn't have much to say about this one, but this last game is very interesting because it has the Cleveland Cavaliers who are, they're finally scuffling a little bit. They've been a juggernaut throughout the whole year. And by finally scuffling, I mean they've lost 2 straight after winning 14 straight in a row they had. 30-5 on the road, 26-7, 30-5 at home, 26-7 on the road there. So fascinating to see how good they've been. But now they go, they play a Kings team, which, and I need to double check this because I definitely have this wrong on screen. There's just no way that the Kings are 5.5 point favorites. It should be the other way around. It should be
they're dogs.
Yes, it should be the Cleveland Cavaliers are in Sacramento as 5.5 point favorites there. No, we have no the big man for the fucking Kings. Sabonis. There we go. Sabonis not going to play here today. Does that mean I want to back the Kings with no Fox, no Sabonis? No. But I'll tell you what, the Cavaliers have just not been playing that great in this last 2 games. Maybe they break the skid here. We talked to our guy Morgan Spooner earlier. He said he liked George Mason and UC Irvine to potentially win the NIT. If you just throw those 2 teams together in a money line parlay and add the Cleveland Cavaliers, you might be having a night. So no action for me here. I'll mention quickly the market in this game right now. 75% of the bets, but only 58% of the money on the Cavaliers. So quietly 25% of the bets and 42% of the money on the Kings there. I mean, bigger bets coming in on the Kings. 83% of the bets, 80% of the money on the over in this game. As shocking as it is, I do kind of lean Sacramento Kings, which is disgusting, but Kings is my lean so far.
Yeah, sometimes I find it successful to bet disgusting in these NBA games, and this is perfect right here. I am on the Sacramento Kings. I got the +5. It's still +5 right now at my book, but I'm looking at -110. I'm on the Sacramento Kings here in this spot. They have to start winning games here. They're sitting at the 9th seed. Right behind them is Dallas. Dallas is going nowhere fast. It's really going to probably be up for that 10th seed. It's going to be between Phoenix and Portland. It's looking like, I mean, San Antonio is right there too. I just don't think there's enough games left for them. But Sacramento is going to be in that play-in tournament, but they got to start winning. They got to start playing together more as a group. It's really been the Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan show. Those guys kind of take turns playing one-on-one basketball in isolation. LaVine kind of shies away from taking shots, not just this year, but last year too when he was with the Bulls. And I don't understand why, because he's really efficient, especially from 3, Jose. Want him to start taking these threes. He's just sitting too much in the corner. Want him to sometimes take those balls and drive to the rim, draw the fouls, maybe get the and ones as well. Zach LaVine doesn't usually get a lot of calls his way, and he does complain a lot, which is maybe why we're not seeing him drive to the bucket.
That's your guy.
Much. Yeah, no, I love LaVine. He's my guy. He's made me some cash. And I think he's going to make us some cash too. I didn't take the money line, Jose, just because the Cavaliers to lose 3 games in a row. is kind of crazy, but
Would probably be the first time I do it all year.
yeah. I mean, after the winning streak they had, though, I mean, this team is pretty much locked in. Them and the Celtics are locked in for the 1 and 2 seed right there. They're going to have home court advantage. You know, the Cavs don't necessarily have to win this game. I do think the Kings have to win this game. Maybe the Kings don't win, but they can, I think, stay within at least 2 buckets here. 5 points, I think, is too much. You guys, I think the money line's good money too right now. I want to pull up what my money line is. I didn't move on this, but money line plus 170 right now. I think that's good money still. I think we have a lot of dogs in play today, and NBA guys. You know, I'm an NBA dog kind of guy. Hasn't really gone my way the last couple of weeks, but just looking at the card today, capping everything, everything just seems to line up a little bit more today than it has in the last couple of weeks. So I do think the Kings are alive here to win this game. They at least they need to. I mean, they have to have some motivation here. They fired their head coach in the middle of the season, trade away De'Aaron Fox to get Zach LaVine. You know, they had a nice little run when they were playing the teams that were not really in the playoffs. When they're playing the bottom feeders of the league, they're taking care of business. Comes down to the better teams. Seems like they have slower starts to me when they go out there in the first quarter. They just start off too slow. And I want LaVine to start off fast. I want DeRozan to start off fast. So I'm going to take the Kings here. Full game, though, +5, -110.
All right. I've written down the Kings as well, and it'll be a game that I come back to and decide later. Beautiful. Wine time. Thank you for rushing here. I appreciate you for getting in here and talking round ball with us. Let's review our action in here real quick. Wine, what are you on here today on this beautiful Wednesday?
Yeah, Jose, we're going to start it off with the Orlando Magic on the money line, +120. We're also on the Miami Heat, +5.5, -110. We're on the Denver Nuggets, -2, -110. We're on the Sacramento Kings, +5, -110. I think these dogs are going to win outright. I'm taking the points, though, in my back pocket just in case something happens. I'll take those 5 extra points right there. But yeah, 4 games today. I like them all, guys. I'm excited for this card today.
It's going to be a fun one. Did you have any college bets as well?
I have not. No college bets for me today so far. That's still kind of going over it, looking at kind of crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
I mean, that's what this time is for.
Yeah, literally. That's why I got here early. So I'm looking forward to it.
Beautiful. Well, I'll review quickly. I haven't made any of these official yet. I have not bet them, is basically what that means yet. But I'm going to weed some of these out, talk to our cappers in here. And by the way, again, it seems as if, I'm not going to say 1,000% sure, it seems as if we're going to have a late night Wednesday live stream where we're just hanging out and talking and shit. So tune in then. Again, follow me on Twitter. I'm going to say that 1,000 times, but follow me on Twitter. You guys will see the official action. Mount St. Mary's +2.5. The only play that I will, like 99% sure, make official. Shout out to Spoons there. Colorado Avalanche money line. The under in Minnesota, Utah under 5.5. The Spurs +8.5. The Bulls +6, 5.5. Whatever that line is going to be, we'll find out that is soon. I also like the under in that game. That's probably the one that I will feel least confident about because it's a total in the NBA, which are fucked. And then the Sacramento Kings as well, I like here as well. So I'm going to just take off that total there and just stick to the sides and such. Beautiful. Oh, and by the way, shout out to Sharpie. We exalted your name earlier in the show, saying how easy the Dodgers bets were, and they are indeed still on pace to go 162-0. So what can you say? What can you say? I'm glad I stayed off the Cubs money line again. I just bet their team total over quietly. So shout out to you, Sharpie. Thank you for the cash you got put in a lot of our viewers' pockets there. Great baseball capper. Go watch them on the Odds Bunch right now. Wine, I appreciate you. That's the show. That's it. That's it. I thank you for coming in for the last, 10-ish minutes here, 15 minutes. It was great to have you here. We're going to be in this room quite a lot in the next few days. So get used to it. I'm glad you could be here. Thank you very much. Where can the people follow you? Because I know if there's one thing I know of Wine Time, he's going to put those pictures out of PUBAPALOOZA on the Twitter machine. He's going to get those social media clips because Wine Time knows what he's doing. God damn it.
Let's go, Jose. Yeah, man. Glad I rushed out here, man. When the flight attendant, they're like, oh, 2 hours and 10 minutes to San Antonio. I was like, oh, that's 30 minutes less than I thought it was going to be. I could make it.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, that's great.
But follow me on X Guys Wine Time Sports. I'm going to be with the fellas all weekend long. You'll see me on the live streams, be hanging out, having a good time at Southtown, man. good vibes in here. This place, it's a whole new studio in here. We got comfortable chairs. It's really nice in here, guys. I'm excited to just sit down with all the guys, watch the games, eat some good food, and drink a lot. And smoke a lot too. So I'm looking forward to it.
That is going to be, oh my God. Like, I think I decided Friday is going to be the day where I probably get drunk, and good Lord, I'm not physically or mentally ready for what that day is going to hold. Tune in for what we have going on this weekend, guys. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And if you know, like, you're like half like, oh man, I want to go, but like, you know, you just make the last second decision. And especially if you're in the Texas area, you're in Austin, you don't want to drive down, come and drive down. If you're from Dallas, our guy Dabby Cab's driving down from Dallas. Maybe you can just navigate, you know, caravan with them. Who knows? Carpool, do the whole damn thing. So it'll be a whole lot of fun. Thank you to everyone that's been in here, and thank you for the people that have dealt with me capping some of these games solo, especially NHL solo. I know is a grind for most people, especially when Jimmy does it. When I do it, it's even more interesting, even though it's only 2 games. And Von Polo, I'm going to push my ass off to get us to go to Atlantic City next year. That's going to be my goal next year, Von Polo, for you, VP, for you. Saturated Rez, Christopher Commentini, Sweaty Butcher, who, by the way, Wine Time, I'm going to send you, or I'm going to show you what Sweaty Butcher happened to mail me recently, and you're going to laugh at what he sent me. It'll be very funny. Old E, Tori Coker, Sharpie, Spenny, we'll see you soon. Rem, I've got hairy ass legs, my man. You can't see him on the screen, but I've got some hairy legs for you. If you come to PUBAPALOOZA, I'll show you the hairy legs. Christopher Commentini, Little Domo, who we'll be seeing shortly. Shout out to you, Little Domo, Dougie Wise, all of our plays of the day, from Stacks to Pig Milk to everyone. Our guy Dylon here, I'm not sure exactly how to say it. He'll be here. I saw him say he got into here, or he's got his flight today or whatever. He'll be there soon. So shout out to you, my guy. Can't wait. We'll see you guys then. Till then, say hey and happy PUBAPALOOZA to everyone.